Hello and welcome to the first instalment of the Jewel of Summer Cal. Today we're going to look at the central square or diamond. It tends to look like a diamond in the finished item, so I'm going to call it the diamond. And we also have a half diamond which makes the edge pieces up. For this you're going to need your big value 50-gram DK yarn in the colours that go with the particular piece you're making. Then a 4.5mm hook, which is a US 7, and I always keep to hand scissors, needles, and generally a couple of the little split ring stitch markers because I find that they're the most useful. So we'll get all our materials together and we'll sit down and do you a demo of how to make it. So see you again in a moment. Okay, so we're going to start with round one, and because you may not have done some of these techniques before, I'm going to do them really slowly. So we've got the yarn, we've got our crochet hook, and we're going to do a magic ring. Now, the way I do a magic ring, you pinch between your thumb and your first finger with the tail here, then wrap round your two fingers, pinch it again between your thumb and your first finger, and then take that yarn over but nearer to your knuckle. So you've wrapped it and then taken a second wrap nearer your knuckle. I then put my hook inside and grab the second piece and bring it through. Now the tricky bit now, you need to pinch there, take your fingers out, and then to secure it, it's not quite secure yet, do a single chain. You've now got this magic loop which will, it'll slip bigger and smaller on that. So you've now got this loop and it's kind of knotted there, but it's like a slip knot. We're then going to do 8 double crochets into this ring, and you're working over these 2 pieces of thread here. Okay, so into the ring, grab the yarn, bring it back through, grab your yarn again from the front and bring it through 2. I'll do that one again. So into the circle, grab your yarn, bring it back through. You've now got your 2 loops on your hook. Just going to get some better tension on here. That's better. So all the time you're pinching quite firmly there, round and bring it through 2. Into the hole, grab the yarn, bring it through, round from the front and through 2. And we're going to do this 8 times so that we've got 8 stitches. Okay. See how many we've got there. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So you've got this sort of little worm that's attached to the circle there. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Always worth checking you've got the right number of stitches. Then if you pull the tail, it will bring the circle together, and that's why it's called a magic circle or a magic ring, because then you can have as many stitches as you want and the circle will always be the perfect size. Then slip under there, bring your yarn back through, and this is your slip stitch to join, and you end up with this little circle which looks like that. Okay, hope you can see that nice and clear. All right, I'm just going to sew the ends in now. Okay, so we're back for round 2, That's the original circle that you've got from round one, and we're now taking this lovely dark ruby red, and we are going to join into any of the double crochets of the row below. So we're going under 2 of the stitches, and then to join you just bring a loop through. Now for this we need to do a chain of 3, so I'm going to secure it with the first loop, which I've done with the tail. That's my preference. You don't have to do that. You can do all 3 chains with the main yarn, but I like to use the tail for the first one. Then we're going to work trebles. So we've to work 1 treble into the same hole, and then we're working all the further trebles 2 into every stitch of the row below. So just in case you need a reminder of a UK treble, so you wrap from the front, go into the hole, grab it, bring it back through, wrap and through 2, wrap and through 2. I'll just do that once more for you. So you wrap, go into the hole, grab the yarn and bring it back through, wrap through 2, wrap again and through 2. So if you need to, obviously replay that little bit. I'm just going to move on a bit for those of you who are a bit more advanced in your crochet. We're doing 8 sets of these in total, and you'll have 16 trebles when you've finished, and that will include the 3 chain that you did at the beginning. So just see how far we've got. So here we've got, in sets, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sets so far. So I just need to do another 2. This one isn't. Oh, it's the tail that's got in the way. These first 2 rounds are always going to be the most fiddly, and it just seems to be the same whatever you're doing. So we have got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 sets there, and a slip stitch to join at the top, and then we'll sew that in a minute, and I'll show you how it'll look when you've finished. Okay, so we've sewn the ends in, and we're now going to work on round 3, which is this gold coloured set of bobbles. So you pop your hook into any of the stitches that are going round. So you've got your 16 stitches there, and bring the yarn through. That doesn't count as a stitch for this one. Then we're going to do 1 double crochet in that hole. Then we're going to do a double treble, which is a much longer stitch, and I'll show you the effect that you get, and then we'll go through it slowly. So you go into the next hole, and what we're doing is creating like this little raised bobble here. So it's a double crochet and then a double treble, and what you're ending up with is this raised effect here. So I'll show you slowly how that's achieved. So you go into the stitch below and work just a double crochet, and that makes it nice and tight, and you need to keep popping these double trebles through to the front. To work a double treble, you wrap twice, so you've got 3 loops on the hook, into the hole, bring a loop back through, so you've now got 4 loops on your hook, then wrap and through 2, wrap and through the next 2, and then wrap and through the final 2. So you've got that much longer effect. You want to keep pushing these to the front, then into the next hole, and the double crochet, being such a short stitch, forces like a little bobble forward, which are really rather pretty. So wrap twice into the hole, bring it back through, wrap through 2, wrap through 2, wrap and through 2. So we need to work this combination into every stitch of the row below, including the chain of 3 that we did originally, because that does count as a stitch. So it's a double followed by a double treble. Okay. So I'll just work to the end of the round and then bring you back in at the next bit. Okay, so we've finished this round and I've just done a slip stitch to join them and then sewn the ends in at the back. So all the little raised bobbles need to be at the front here. That's the right side, and for this one you're always working, there's the right side facing up. Now for the next bit we're going to create this little grey section that really is only there to attach the red to. It's like a foundation. So we're going to go into one of the double crochet, so a dip really, and bring some yarn through and secure it with a single chain. Then set your hand up so you're nice and comfy, and we're going to do a double crochet into the same hole. Then we're going to do 2 chains and work another double crochet into the double crochet of the round below, another 2 chain and another double crochet, and we're going to do this all the way round. So it's 2 chain and a double crochet, and you're always doing it between the bobble, so the bobble sits in the middle with the 2 chain going above it. So we'll work this all the way around, and again when you get to the other end you're just going to slip stitch together, fasten off and sew your ends in. Okay, so we've completed this round of 2 crochet and a double crochet in each stitch, and I've done a slip stitch to join, so you've got this nice circle. Next we're going to work on these popcorn stitches. So I've got my bright red yarn, and the first one is slightly different, so we're going to call this a beginning popcorn, because to get your yarn in the best place, we've joined as normal, so we've gone through any 2 chain space, doesn't matter which one. We're going to do a chain of 3 to start with, so I've done 1 with the tail, 2 with the normal yarn, and then I'm going to work another 4 trebles into this, and so that's 2, 3, 4. Okay, so here you should be able to see we've got a chain of 3 which counts as a treble, and then 1, 2, 3, 4 trebles there. And then to do a popcorn, you take the hook out of that one there, put it in at the beginning. I like to put it into the top of the chain if I can do. Grab that and then bring that through. Some people like to do a wrap and a pull through on there. It's just up to you. So that would be where you would have this. So you've got one at the end and that one at the beginning, and then you'd wrap it and pull through. That's another option. Then for the next bit of this round, we're going to do 1 treble, 3 chains, and another 1 treble into the same hole. So you've used a 2 chain space there and a 2 chain space here, and then we're going to work a standard 5 treble popcorn. So to do that, you do 5 individual trebles, but all into the same 2 chain space. That's 5. Just double check your stitches. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Pop the hook back into that first stitch, back into your loop, grab the yarn, bring it back through. Okay, so that's a standard popcorn. Then you do 1 treble, 3 chains, and a 1 treble. There. And we're going to keep working these. So I'm going to do another 5 treble popcorn. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I've got my 5 trebles. Take the hook out, pop it into the first treble, into the loop again, and then pull a loop through, and then back to a treble, 3 chains, and a treble. So I'm going to carry on working right back to here and finish with a treble, 3 chains, and a treble at that point, and then we'll pick it back up from there. Okay, so when you have completed that round, this is what you'll have. It also sits a bit like that, so don't worry if yours sits looking almost like it's too domed. It will flatten out. So for round 7, which is the wine colour, we grab some yarn. And we're joining into this space. It's classed as the 1 chain space there. So it's in the very, very top of one of the popcorns. And we're going to do a chain just there to secure it, and a double crochet in that space. So that's how you're starting. Then we're going to work a shell stitch, and we're going to do the shell stitch into this 3 chain space you've got here. And the shell is worked by doing 3 trebles, then let's get my third treble in there, then a 1 chain and another 3 trebles. And that's your first shell there. Then we go into the top again of the popcorn stitch and do a double. And then we keep repeating this, so we're doing another shell, which is 3 trebles, 1 chain, 3 trebles, and then again into that top section and work a double. And we're going to keep doing this all the way around the edge until we've no more spaces left to work into. So that's one more and a double crochet. I'll just lay it down so hopefully you can see what you're achieving. So you've got your shell here and a double crochet just anchoring it into the top of the popcorn stitch. Okay, I'll come back in a moment. Okay, so we've worked all the way around, adding the shells and the joining stitch there. So that's the shape you have now. Next, we're going to create this grey section, pale grey. And to do that, you start by anchoring your wool in one of the single chain spaces at the top of one of the shells. And so that's now anchored. We're now going to work 3 double crochet into the same hole. So that's 1, 2, 3. So we've got 3 there at the top. Then we work a chain of 3, and we're going to do a treble 3 together. So, and over very specific stitches. So you miss the next 2 trebles. You then work a part treble into the last treble of that set of 3. Then you work another part treble into the double crochet in the middle, and then another part treble into the next stitch, and then through all 3 of those. So I'm going to show you that one again in a moment, because if you've never worked one before, that can be a bit confusing. But you have worked 3 stitches but ended up with only 1 stitch at the top, and that's called a treble 3 together. So 3 chains in between. The nice thing with this is it's all in 3s. 3 double crochet, another 3 chain, and then the treble 3 together over these 3 central stitches. So miss the first 2 there. So you wrap, go into your hole, grab the yarn and bring it back through, just as you would with a normal treble, but you only wrap and go through 2. And then you pause at that point and you start again. So wrap into the next stitch, bring it back through, wrap through 2. So now you've got 3 loops on your hook, and then you start again. Wrap into your next stitch, wrap, bring it back through, wrap and through 2. So you've got all 4 loops there. Bring that through and you've done your treble 3 together. So I'm just going to do one more of those. So I'll have to do a chain of 3 followed by 3 double crochet, followed by another chain of 3, and I'll do one more demo for you for those. So wrap into the stitch, grab it, pull it back through, wrap and through 2, wrap into the hole, wrap, bring it back through, wrap through 2, wrap into the hole, grab it, pull it back through, wrap through 2, then wrap and through all 4 loops, and then you start the process again. Okay. Okay, so we've gone all the way round and joined it back where we started. So you've got 3 double crochets and then a treble 3 together with sets of 3 chain between each set of stitches. So I'm joining back in where I've just finished, taking this lovely turquoisey coloured yarn, and I'm going to bring that through and secure it. And we need to work 3 double crochet across here, so that's 1 into each stitch, so that means working a stitch into the hole that I've just worked into, so that's a double crochet, and then 1 in the next stitch, and again 1 in the stitch after. And then these are nice numbers again. You work another 3 double crochet in that chain of 3. So it's all again nice and easy to remember. Lots of 3s involved. So that's 3 double crochet. Now I'm going to introduce a different stitch now. It may be one you've done before, or it may not, and it's called a front post treble. So you wrap in the normal way, then go under the centre stitch of the 3 stitches that you've got there and bring that yarn back through, wrap and through 2, wrap and through 2. So it's a treble, but instead of working it just into the top of a stitch, you've actually gone round the post of the stitch, hence the name a front post treble. And we'll do another one of those in a minute. I'm going to do 3 more double crochet into the next set of chain spaces, and then 3 more double crochet, 1 into each of the double crochets we worked at that point, and then another 3 double crochet into this gap, and I'm just going to tuck that little tail out of the way. So that's 3. So front post treble, wrap as normal, and then go in and round the back there. Pull it through, wrap and through 2, wrap and through 2. You can see you've got a slightly twisted look on the stitch, which is really nice and decorative. So 3 double crochet into the hole, then 3 double crochet, 1 into each stitch, another 3 double crochet in the chain space, and a front post treble. And I'm going to continue like that all the way around till I meet back here. Okay. Okay, so we've finished that round and joined with a slip stitch. So this is what you've got now, which is like a very pretty cartwheel. We're now going to create the dark grey, which is starting to square it off into more of the diamond shape. So you join your yarn again into the top of one of the front post trebles. And do the chain to secure it, and then I'm going to work a double crochet also into that hole. We're now going to work another 6 double crochet. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The next stitch is going to be a half treble. So a half treble, you wrap as normal, go into the hole, grab the yarn and bring it back through, but this time you wrap and go through all 3 stitches together, and that just makes a shorter version of a treble. Then we're going to work 2 standard trebles and a double treble. So the two standard trebles were in the same hole, and there's the double treble. So that's a wrap and through 2, wrap and through 2, wrap and through 2. Now we're going to work 2 front post double trebles. So the first one behind the post of the double treble on the previous row. Then we're going to do 1 chain and another double treble in exactly the same way and around exactly the same stitch. So there, you've got that lengthening going on there. Then a double treble into the next stitch of the row below. Two trebles into the next stitch, so that's both of them into the next stitch. And then a half treble, so that's where you wrap and go through all 3. And then we're going to do 13 double crochet. So there are 3 going across there and another 3 here, and the 7th one should sit on top of the front post double treble of the row, the front post treble of the row below. Okay, and then another 6 at the other side. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then a half treble, so that's a wrap in, wrap and back through, wrap and through all 3. 2 normal trebles into the same stitch. A double treble into the stitch after that. And then you're back at a front post treble for the row below, so a double wrap and through there, a 1 chain, a double wrap around that post of the stitch on the row below again, wrap and through 2, wrap and through 2, wrap and through 2, a double treble again right next to it, followed by 2 trebles into the same stitch, followed by a half treble into the next stitch. And you can see now how you're getting the square going across the top with those extra stitches. I'm going to carry on and go all the way round, and we'll rejoin it when we get to the end. Okay. Okay, so we've now gone all the way around, joined them, and you can see how we've gone from a circle to a square. It's slightly domed, but that's part of the 3D effect, and when you block it, it'll flatten it slightly, but I don't think you want to take too much of the 3D effect away. It's a really nice feature of this blanket. So we're now going to rejoin as before and do this time a chain of 3, because we're going to work some nice simple trebles and some corners to do the final round. So that's my 3 chain, and we now need to work 11 trebles across to the corner. That's not including the chain of 3, that's separate. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. That final stitch has been worked into the top of the double treble front post, or front post double treble, get the terminology right. You're now back at the one chain space here, and for this little corner you do one treble, one chain, and then another treble all into that corner, and then you are working 23 trebles across the top of here before you get to your next corner. So it's really, oops, quite got that one cleanly. There we go. So we're working 23 all the way along. This is so that you've got the right number of stitches when we come to start fastening things together and doing your joining sections in the middle of the blanket. So just standard UK trebles all the way across. It does pay to count them as well at the end of the row and make sure you've got the right number, because it's very easy to either end up with an extra one or to actually miss one. So just spend a moment counting your trebles across there, and then it's one treble, one chain and another treble into your corner, and then again another 23 trebles across, another corner and all the way around, and we'll join here with a slip stitch and fasten off. Okay. Okay, so we've gone all the way round and we've finished the square. We recommend now that you block it, which is where you get a towel or something similar, lay that down, dampen this, and then pin this nice and neatly out to full shape. And that way, when you come to fastening them together later on, it just makes it all easier and the blanket is just a little bit neater. But entirely up to you, but we do recommend that you do that. So we'll be back shortly with the next instalment of how to do this crocheted cowl, and we hope to see you there. Thanks, bye.